The ocean. About 70% of our planet is covered with, and is a place that we have yet to fully explore. In fact, we have explored the far reaches of space more than we have gone to the depths of the deepest trenches. Because of this, we continuously discover many new species of organisms and animals that may seem to only exist in myth and in our darkest nightmares. So get your gear on and be prepared to go 20,000 leagues under the sea as we count down to the 15 terrifying things that lurk in the depths of the ocean. Number 15, Viperfish. We'll just dive right into the creepy and start with the Viperfish. And no, this is not some sort of snake that waits for you in the corners of the deep. The Viperfish lives so deep in the ocean that its skin and eyes are not adapted to sunlight, making it look a little bit opaque. However, this appearance should be the least of your worries. This species of deep water fish is so aptly named because of its razor-sharp teeth that it uses to shred its prey and the jaw so that it can make more room to eat you with. Unfortunately, the Viperfish does not survive long in captivity for scientists to learn more about its habits and biology, so if you ever run into one, yeah, no one really knows what to do. Number 14, fang-tooth fish. The fang-tooth fish gained its name because it has the largest set of sword-like teeth proportionate to its size. Not even the well-known anglerfish can compete with this fish's pearly whites. While they do not grow beyond 15 centimeters, these carnivorous creatures have an appetite for prey that is way larger than they are, and they do this by using their teeth to catch a morsel or cling onto a larger bite to satisfy their big appetite. Luckily, this species is not known to be dangerous to humans, so there is really nothing to be alarmed about, plus the fact that they mostly thrive in the deeper regions of the ocean. Number 13, northern stargazer. Native to the waters on the eastern side of the US, the northern stargazer bears a name that could maybe lead you to believe that it is a friendly fish, but if you believe that, then you are in for the surprise of your life. The northern stargazer has a unique way of catching its food. What it does is that it burrows itself in the sand, exposing only its eyes and a part of its mouth. A mouth lined with needle-sharp biters, which gives it the appearance of a face looking upwards to the sky. So when a prey strays into its direction, it then sends a wave of electricity to knock it out, and then it just floats conveniently into its waiting mouth. Number 12, the black dragonfish. With a name that sounds like an evil villain from a martial arts movie, the black dragonfish, most notably the female of the species, has an appetite that could scare even the stoutest of seafarers. With its beady eyes jutting out of its head, the black dragonfish has a deadly arsenal of jagged teeth that can easily render flesh. Akin to the anglerfish, the black dragonfish also has the ability to produce its own light through bioluminescence, which makes it even more difficult to not spot in the ocean's darkest corners. And interestingly enough, the black dragonfish begins its life close to the surface, where its eggs just kind of float about until it hatches and the little ones begin to dive away from the light. Number 11, Barreleye. While not entirely frightening, the Barreleye is certainly one of the most bizarre looking sea creatures that can still send a couple of chills down your spine. Overall, the Barreleye looks like any normal fish that you would encounter, except that it has two upward facing eyes that enables it to spot food coming down from above, as well as scan the area for nearby prey. However, that fish's most distinctive feature is the transparent dome head that encases its eyes in the inside of its head, which in turn has given it the nickname spookfish. Number 10, Chimera. Named after the Greek mythological creature, the Chimera is a deep-sea species of fish that are more commonly known as ghost sharks. Like so many of its deep-sea friends, little is known about the habits of the ghost shark. However, its appearance is quite enough to send you swimming back to the surface should you encounter one, as they basically look like some science experiment gone wrong that mixed a paddlefish, a seal, and a bug-eyed shark. Number 9, Gulper Eel. No name in the animal kingdom is more self-descriptive than the Gulper eels. As fascinating as their name sounds, the Gulper eel lives quietly in the deep as it swallows its prey whole with its extraordinarily large mouths that has earned it the nickname pelican eel. Not only are these eels able to swallow large amounts of food at the same time, but their bodies are also well equipped to swallow food larger than they are, as their stomachs can expand as much as their basin-like mouths. Number 8, the black swallower. It seems that there is a unifying theme of deep-sea creatures swallowing food that are 3 times larger than they are, and the black swallower takes the cake home by being able to devour prey that is 10 times its own size. Also known as the great swallower, this fish, like so many of its underwater relatives, has a proud collection of razor-sharp teeth that allows it to hold on to its prey and prevent it from swimming away, as well as a pair of wide, round eyes that allows it to see perfectly well through the inky darkness of the deep. Number 7, anglerfish. With its signature sharp teeth and gaping mouth, the anglerfish is perhaps the most popular deep-sea monster that everyone would recognize. The species is so widely known that it has even made appearances in animated movies and has been referenced several times throughout pop culture. Named after its manner of hunting food, the anglerfish uses a special protrusion from its head, aided by the ability to bioluminesce as a false lure to an unwitting target. If prey happens to move anywhere near the anglerfish's lure, its jagged teeth-lined mouth snaps shut like a bear trap. Number 6. Goblin Shark. Having been discovered in recent years, there is still little known about the Goblin Shark, as most of them do not survive long enough to be studied. However, with what is known about them, these monsters of the deep have earned quite a reputation. With a paddle-like snout and teeth that seem to point out in all directions, I think this guy needs braces, this underwater goblin's retractable jaws give it the ability to devour its prey in an instant. And if its dinner is a little bit out of reach, the Goblin Shark can suck in water, drawing food right into his mouth like a vacuum. Number 5. Sarcastic Fringehead. The Sarcastic Fringehead is a seemingly harmless fish that spans about a foot long. However, when provoked or agitated, this fish opens up its extremely wide mouth to intimidate would-be predators. To give you an idea of how terrifying this looks, the Sarcastic Fringehead can be likened to Jurassic Park's Dilophosaurus, but minus the venom spitting and the hissing. And yes, like everybody else, they do have sharp teeth and they know how to use it. Number 4. Frill Shark. One of the oldest living things to swim our oceans. The frill shark dates back to over 80 million years ago, which is why it is considered to be a living fossil. These extremely rare creatures, although they're called sharks, they're not really sharks, but large species of eels that can grow up to 2 meters in length. Even more interesting about these creatures is that several cultures believe that these are ancestor sea monsters that terrorize the oceans in several myths and legends. Number 3. Giant Isopod. Generally, they're pretty harmless. The giant isopod is a massive crustacean that could grow up to 2.5 feet in length. Closely resembling a centipede or a pill bug, the giant isopod looks like a creature that crash-landed from an alien planet. Quietly living at the bottom of the ocean, they are pretty much like their cousins, the crab and lobster, when it comes to diet, meaning they're scavengers and would rather eat pieces of dead animals than go out on the hunt. Number 2. Giant Squid. No other sea creature has been so popular in myths, legends, and pop culture than the giant squid. Stories about a kraken-like monster with giant tentacles tearing ships apart and devouring seafarers in the middle of a tempest have become a staple in many cultures. However, while the giant squid is indeed a giant, it is not as colossal as the myths would put it. Or at least we haven't found one that is. Up until a few years back, the giant squid has been an elusive creature that has never been photographed in the wild. Most of the giant squids that we come into contact with are actually corpses that have been washed ashore or have been caught in fishing nets. But that does not discount how terrifying this creature can be. They can weigh up to 440 pounds and have eyes that can grow up to 10 inches in diameter. Also, after a live specimen has recently been discovered and captured in 2006, we come to find out that they also have a bit of a temper. So yeah, don't make these guys mad. You wouldn't like them very much when they're mad. Finally, number 1. Blue-ringed octopus. Now, we do not immediately associate octopus as dangerous or deadly compared to maybe the other creatures on this list. However, one species of octopus does stand out from the rest as it silently slings and skulks in the dark. The blue-ringed octopus may be less imposing and less intimidating, and it may not have sharp fangs or retractable jaws, but it does have one of the most potent venoms in the animal kingdom. And this venom has no known antidote, so should a human being cross one of these 8-legged creatures and get bit by one of them, it's gonna make a shark bite seem like a less horrific option. So there you go, 15 more reasons to maybe not go swimming in the ocean. You know what my worst fear is? I think this is my number 1 on my list. And probably the reason why I really don't go on cruises, because every year you hear about somebody falling off a cruise ship and you never hear about them again. Wouldn't that just be the worst scenario? Like, you fall into the ocean, you're still alive, you're just treading water, you're waiting for something to come eat you. So yeah, swimming in the ocean, not a big fan. Alright guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you later.